Chosen ones, what I'm about to share with you may shock you, and it's a message you need to hear right now. If you're watching this video, it's no coincidence. God has led you here for a reason. Something powerful is unfolding in your life, and it's time for you to wake up to the truth. God is giving you an unexpected warning today. Stop giving your strength to those who mock you, who do not honor you, who do not believe in you. You have been pouring out your energy, your kindness, your very power into people unworthy of it. And now the time for a dramatic turnaround is upon you. What you have offered out of love and compassion has drained you at your core. It is time to reclaim your strength. This is more than a shift of mindset. This is a spiritual awakening. As one chosen by God, listen, if you continue pouring into souls misaligned with your calling, you will repeatedly suffer the fallout. God is cautioning you. Your help is not always right, even when your intentions are good. Sometimes intervening only deepens harm, both in you and in them. Before we press further into this life-altering message, pause for a moment. If this resonates, like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment. 99. That sacred number will amplify the energy of this message and send a signal into the unseen realm. If you are truly one of the chosen, your spirit already senses this message is for you. You'll stay till the end. But if you are not ready, you may not. For those who remain, know this. Your life will never be the same. In life, there are seasons when your heart aches to help others, especially those struggling. But hear the voice of heaven. Stop aiding those who do not respect, value, or appreciate your kindness. When you give freely to people who mock, you are being spiritually misled, and your own soul is left vulnerable. God sees every effort unacknowledged, every word of love taken for granted. That kind of giving only opens you up to exhaustion. This is not just about ending a cycle of helping the unworthy. It is about walking away from sacrificing your peace for people who would not hesitate to abandon you. God is directing you now. Focus instead on your spiritual maturity. Stop carrying burdens not meant for your hands. You have been warned. This is your last call to retreat from people, ties, and situations that drain instead of nourish your soul. When you take on another's weight, you are not carrying their karma alone. You are absorbing it. If you allow this to continue, the spiritual consequences will be grievous. This is not about cruelty, it's about wisdom. Let them face their consequences. Safeguard the sanctity of your spirit. The law of cause and effect is built into creation. Every act, thought, intention carries a return. Kindness extended should circle back to peace, love, and delight. But when you deliver kindness into unreceptive hands, when you offer help to those unready or disrespectful, you entangle yourself in their hidden chaos. You carry their weight. You become bound to the fallout. This is not a punishment, it is a cosmic balance. As you sow, so shall you reap. Galatians 6:7 is not mere proverb, it is spiritual law. Open Bible. When you overextend yourself to unworthy people, you tip the balance of your own life and invite suffering. Recognize, kindness should never demand the sacrifice of your peace. If your generosity becomes a source of pain, physically, emotionally, or spiritually, that is your signal to pause. The fruit of the Spirit includes self-control, Galatians 5:22-23. Undoubted grace. Let that self-control guide you. You are not here to deplete your soul in the name of compassion. Have you ever poured all you have into someone only to feel hollow and unseen afterward? This is your spiritual alarm. It is not that your giving is wrong. You simply gave to the wrong person at the wrong time. Your heart is noble, but not all deserve nobility. When you continue offering kindness to one who mocks or ignores you, you open a door to negativity. Their lack of appreciation drains your spirit. That depletion does not stay invisible. It reaches your mental, emotional, and even physical well-being. God fashioned you to radiate light, not to serve as a garbage dump for others' faults. Kindness is a gift, not a duty. When your sacrifices go unvalued, you must pause and discern who truly deserves your love and energy. If your peace is sacrificed for people who refuse respect, you are harming yourself, not helping them. That is how spiritual fatigue begins. Your kindness should uplift, but when it burdens, it must stop. Picture this: you pour again and again, and they respond with derision, indifference, neglect. It is devastating. God sees that devastation. Continuing to assist those who disrespect you is not valor, it is destruction. You drain your spirit, invite spiritual toxicity, and set yourself up for karmic consequences. God reminds us, no one is meant to be a perpetual giver while others only take. You are a vessel of divine energy. You have a right, no, a responsibility to protect it. When you offer help to people who don't value it, you imperil your spiritual well-being and reinforce their broken patterns. They learn to take without giving. You teach them, and yourself, that your energy is boundless. But God did not create you as an endless reservoir. The cost is not small. It's not only your soul that suffers. Your relationships, your environment, your entire spiritual ecosystem can collapse under that strain. Your mission on this earth is not to burn out for others, but to radiate light. Do not let your flame be snuffed, trying to give to unworthy hands. Spiritual illness is not a concept, it is real. Persistent absorption of negative energy paves a path to emptiness. You may feel disconnected from God, from purpose, from self. That is not simply exhaustion, it is crisis. Over time, the more you give without boundaries, the more your spiritual health deteriorates. You'll sense it. Emotional numbness, lack of drive, physical symptoms. Recognizing spiritual disease is your first step to healing. If you feel hollow, depleted, disconnected, pause. Examine carefully where you invest your spirit. God gave you strength to help, but always within the bounds of balance, respect, mutual alignment. When that balance is broken, your giving ceases to be kindness. It becomes self-sabotage. God sees everything, even when your eyes do not. Your generosity might be used as a weapon against you. Some will exploit your compassion without ever reciprocating. That is not your failure. It is a lesson in boundaries. God knows your purity and your good heart. But He also knows the necessity of protecting your spirit. Perhaps you thought you were doing the right thing, helping, sacrificing, giving. But when your kindness is abused, it is harming you and demeaning your sacred gifts. This is the warning. Stop before it's too late. Heed God's voice. Stepping away from those who abuse your energy is not abandonment. It is honor to yourself and to God. When you carry burdens that were never yours to carry, you hurt your journey in hidden ways. Every time you step in to fix someone else's mistakes, you pay a spiritual price, one you may not yet see. Kindness is beautiful, but it carries a hidden toll if misused. When you constantly correct others' wrongs, you absorb their karma and bleed your own strength. At first, it may feel noble. Over time, it becomes exhausting, crushing you emotionally, physically, spiritually. God never meant for you to pay the cost of others' sins. You are here to grow, evolve, fulfill your purpose. Do not let someone else's missteps anchor you down. Learning to say no, to set boundaries, is not weakness. It is self-preservation. God knows how much you have poured out, but He also knows you cannot advance if you drag behind you the burden of every soul you tried to save. This is your final warning. Guard your spiritual energy at all costs. When you give without boundaries, you risk losing your identity, your bond with the divine, your peace. Your energy is sacred, not to be spent on those who do not value it. You are the keeper of your soul. You alone may decide how much to give. God's message is unmistakable. Stop exhausting yourself for the unworthy. When you do, you open a channel for divine renewal. Miracles, clarity, purpose, these begin to flow when you protect your energy. This warning is not to terrify you. It is to empower you. By defending your spirit, you position yourself for a life of peace, clarity, and alignment with God's will. Trust in His guidance. He walks with you every step. When you carry others' burdens, especially those who refuse to change, you invite their darkness into your own path. This is dangerous territory. It can derail your spiritual growth. God has called you to fulfill your unique purpose, but part of that calling is allowing others to face the justice of their own actions. You cannot alter their courses without losing yours. Intervening in someone's karmic journey is like swimming upstream, tiring, ultimately futile, and potentially destructive. You cannot redirect someone else's fate. By trying, you risk losing your own path. God created each of us to live out our lessons, to fulfill our destinies, to grow through our own pain and triumphs. When you intervene too often, you rob yourself and them of the lessons meant to be learned. This truth is hard. Every person must walk their own road. You may feel compelled to fix, to rescue, to heal, but real growth often comes through consequence. To intercede prematurely is to freeze their growth and drain your spirit. God made you to walk in light, not to carry the shadows of others. Recognize that your journey is uniquely yours. Do not let another's unfinished business block your divine path. When you allow others to meet the consequences of their actions, you free yourself. You honor both their journey and yours. This is a critical phase of spiritual maturity. Learning when to let go, when to step back, when to allow the universe and God to work. Boundaries are not selfish, they are self-love. God designed you to flourish, but for that you must protect your spirit. When you drain yourself for others, you empty your vessel. Boundaries preserve your time, energy, emotion. Without them, you risk spiritual collapse. Remember the wisdom. Like a city whose walls are broken through is a person who lacks self-control. Proverbs 25:28. Proverbs 31, Ministries. The walls are there to protect. When your walls fall, your soul is exposed. Setting boundaries is not a sign of spiritual failure. It is an act of honoring God's design. It is how you preserve your capacity to love, to give, to fulfill your calling. Don't let guilt or duty drive you into emptiness. When your kindness becomes painful, when your help drains you, stop. You may already feel the burden of spiritual burnout, but it is not too late. God offers a path toward restoration through healthy boundaries, through saying no, through stepping away from what drains. Protect your energy, replenish your spirit. Allow divine strength to renew you. When you help others who do not respect you, you not only betray your own needs, you also offend divine justice. God sees the imbalance. He sees how your generosity is twisted. He's not unaware. Your continuous giving to the undeserving can upset the spiritual order. This is not about fear. This is about accountability. Stop now. Let divine justice take its course. Free yourself from needless suffering. You honor the sacredness of your gift. God's anger is not vengeance. It is love urging self-protection. He calls you to guard your inner sanctuary. Personal accountability is central in your spiritual journey. You're responsible for your energy and your actions. When you overstep, intervening in lives that are not yours to steer, you forfeit your own growth as well. Your highest duty is to your own walk with God. Let go of the burden of rescuing and focus on your healing. That is God's request. Ultimately, your goal is the cultivation of your spiritual path. Each thought, each word, each intention sends ripples through the cosmos. When you act with integrity, wisdom and love, you build positive karma and open your life to divine blessings. God's message to you: protect your energy, set boundaries, keep your focus on your path. In doing so, you not only create a healthy life, but you allow others to learn their lessons. Love deeply but wisely. Love is potent, but when love is misdirected, unchecked, it drains instead of uplifts. You may be giving to your spouse, friend, sibling, or parent, but if your love is taken for granted, it loses its power. Loving someone is not a license to empty yourself. Too much giving to a heart that refuses to value you is spiritual suicide. I know it is hard. It is harder when it is someone you care about. Yet, the message stands. If love is not reciprocated, it will eventually cost your vitality. Saying no is not a betrayal. It is necessary for your spiritual health. Enabling unwholesome dependency only chains both of you to stagnation. God understands the agony of setting boundaries with loved ones, but in the tapestry of spiritual growth, loving yourself is just as divine as loving others. Allow your flame to burn for yourself first. Respect your needs. Protect your spirit. Let love heal, not harm. You may have carried others' burdens for too long, but God is now saying, draw back, set free. Whether family, friend, partner, do not absorb their consequences. Each soul must carry its own weight. When you let go, you protect your health, soul, mind, body, and you reclaim your path to purpose. Helping others is noble, but not at the expense of your spiritual health. The more unreciprocated giving you engage in, the more you sacrifice your rightful peace. Perhaps they do not realize their effect, but God sees. He sees how your kindness is misused. He hears how your soul cries. He summons you to stop before the damage is irreparable. Spiritual depletion is a serious threat. If you pour without renewal, you lose your connection to God, your driving force, your identity. You feel empty, swallowed, lost. That is not your destiny. This is not weakness, it is wisdom. When you learn to release, you unlock divine restoration. When you protect your essence, you make space for abundant life. When you trust God, step away from those who drain you. You bring power back to your own calling. God has been watching. He sees your faith, your sacrifices, your patience. But now He calls you to end this cycle. Heed this final warning. Guard what is yours. Walk firmly in your light. Step away from those who dim it. Trust that as you preserve your spirit, you will align even more with divine purpose. Your days of spiritual exhaustion are over. A new life of grace, clarity, power, and divine calling awaits. Amen.